Welcome to this Football Manager 2016 experiment featuring Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, Iceland and the Faroe Islands. So yes, this is the Nordic experiment featuring 6 Nordic countries. Finally got round to making this. I've been promising this for a long time, so apologies for it being so long, but I wanted to make sure I prepared for it properly, and I've already holidayed basically through to 2090. I'll probably go to 2100. I've not looked in things in detail, so I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it for you by suddenly saying Norway won the World Cup in 2082, because that would ruin it in this first part. So there's going to be a few parts to this. If you want part 2 to come out tomorrow, smash 500 likes on this video today and I will upload it tomorrow. So in this first part we're just going to go probably 3 World Cups to the end of the 2026 World Cup to see how these 6 nations do. Can they dominate world football? It's not necessarily about winning the World Cup every year, being top of the world rankings every year. It's just about a collective group. Can they dominate world football? Can all 6 or perhaps 4 of them regularly get through to World Cup semi-finals, European Championship semi-finals, European International League, which is something that starts in 2018. Got the Confederations Cup, and then at the end here, number of Europa League titles, number of Champions League titles. So I'm going to use this Excel sheet to track the progress of every country as we go through the parts. At the end of each video I will count up these things and you can track the progress as we go and you can see how well each nation is doing. So for example, if all 6 nations reach the 2018 World Cup group stage and they all get knocked out in the group stage, they'll all get a mark in here, and I'll just count it up as we go along, sort of thing. And then at the end you guys can decide who you think has been the most successful nation. But it's not really about competing within each other, it's about a collective group trying to dominate world football. Which nation do you think will be the most successful? I'm intrigued to know who you think will be the most successful. Put one of these nations in the comment section below and let me know your reasons, maybe, or maybe just it will just be a guess. It could be anyone really. So for those of you that have no idea what these experiments are all about and haven't watched any of my Can Country X Win the World Cup videos before, I've done San Marino, I've done China, not Ireland, I'm going to do Ireland I think, India. I'm probably going to do the home nations next, and Ireland as well in that, for those wondering. But what I do is I improve all of the nations using the in-game editor. I max out their youth settings, improve the clubs to see if it can boost them enough to improve as nations. So for example, with Faroe Islands and all the other 5 countries, I've put the youth rating up to the maximum, which is 500. I've also changed some of these settings as well. I've left everything else the same. I've made sure economic factor and FA financial power is maxed out as well, as that hopefully will improve them. I always make sure that they're a developed state as well, not a third world state. Not that any of the Nordic countries have any problems with that. And secondly, I go to the top division clubs in each nation and improve them as well. Now Faroe Islands League is the only one that's not on the game. I've decided not to include them. I've not downloaded an edited database because that can be problematic and cause issues. So I don't want any sort of third-party effects on this experiment. I'm using just Football Manager 2016, the vanilla version, and I've just used the I used the pre-game editor to actually edit these things, but we'll have a look at things as we go along to see the players' potential and ability. So that's why I've got the in-game editor installed. So what I've done with the top clubs in each nation is I've maxed out training, youth, junior coaching and youth recruitment, because they should hopefully produce some really good regens, and then the nations in turn will improve. So yes, I've done that with every single nation and every club in the top division of each nation. If we just look here, you can see 20, 20, 20, 20 for Rosenborg as well. So let's get cracking with this experiment. We're starting on the 27th of March 2015, because a lot of the Nordic nations, they have leagues starting around this point of the year. They don't start in August like other European nations. So that's why we're starting it here. I'm going to holiday to the end of the 2018 World Cup first of all. We'll have a look at how the nations did in the Euro 2016 tournament and the the World Cup 2018 in Russia. So I've holidayed through to 31st of July 2018, and as you can see here, Spain beat Germany in the final of Euro 2016 in France. But let's see how our nations did. How did the Nordic countries do? We'll see if any of them actually managed to make it to Euro 2016 first of all. If you look down this list, Finland actually qualified from Group C, so they've done well there. Sweden unfortunately knocked out though, and I think it was only those two nations that managed to qualify, with no Iceland like in real life. So Iceland have actually done worse than in real life. Can't see them anyway. So how did Finland get on? They actually lost 4-0 against Holland in the final. We can't see that fixture unfortunately. So let's look at Finland first of all. Wow, completely dramatic drop off since Euros. So they obviously went up to 38th in the world during the Euros, you can see here, after a very successful Euro 2006, well, reasonably successful Euro 2016 campaign. But then completely dropped off. They mustn't have qualified for the World Cup. 100th in the world. What on earth has happened to them? Seeing that, some of you may not want to predict Finland as being the most successful team going forwards. But you never know, they could turn it around, of course. If we just look at the nation, you can see here the players' current ability, potential ability. We'll keep a track of this as we progress through the series. You can see they've got a really good keeper coming through. Lauri Nurmi plays for Juventus, moved there from, he's been in Finland, Sweden and Norway, but he's got remarkable potential. 126 current ability, 188 potential, so they have produced three very good players here already, three 19-year-olds that can certainly cause problems. We may not focus on every nation each time I stop, by the way, because the videos will be very long if I do that, but you can see here Sweden 38th in the world as it stands. Norway are 45th. Iceland have dropped down to 63rd, unfortunately. Denmark are 24th. They've stayed pretty much the same throughout the past 2.5 years. And Faroe Islands dropped down to 102nd. They're only 2 behind Finland. They're actually higher than Finland at one point. This is the nation that's probably least likely to perform well. They've got the smallest population, really tiny population, about the population of somewhere like Winchester or Salisbury, I would say. And, I mean, Iceland have a small population, under 350,000, remember. But it's not always population that has an impact. You can see in the past, Uruguay have won the World Cup twice. They've got a population of 3.5 million. This is my geography geekness coming in here. But it's not always down to population. We've seen China and India fail to win the World Cup on previous experiments, remember? But we saw New Zealand and Australia win it, and they have much smaller populations. So it is to do with coaching, the young players coming through, and I think coaching is a key thing as well in the training facilities. So we've boosted that out for Faroe Islands, so they may actually do better than we think. So the 2018 World Cup in Russia was won by Brazil, beating Germany in the final game. Belgium finished 3rd. How did our Nordic countries do? Let's have a look. So, going down, Denmark qualified from their Group D, but they were the only nation to get into the World Cup. That is pretty poor so far. Denmark were knocked out 4-1 by Belgium though in the final. Let's look at this. Yusuf Poulsen, good player. The only player to actually get a goal in this game for Denmark. Belgium, Lukaku with a hat-trick. So I'm going to add on the points as I go along, but at the end of the video I will show it. So I'm not going to show it at the end of each stopping point in each video, because we will be here forever if I do that. So we're now in the year 2022, and this is the results of Euro 2020, where Germany managed to defeat France in the final. Let's look at the group stage then. Denmark and Norway both qualifying from Group A, so doing well there. Sweden also qualifying. So three Nordic nations qualifying for the second round, where Denmark lost against Croatia, Norway lost against Italy, and Sweden, where are they? Lost against Portugal. So all three of them going out in the second round, unfortunately. The 2022 World Cup took place in Canada. It always seems to be removed from Qatar for reasons. Argentina beat England in the final. France finished 3rd. Let's see how our boys did then. Canada doing well to qualify. Denmark qualifying from Group D. They've been the most successful team so far. Some of you may not be surprised by that. And that's it. Only Denmark qualifying for the 2022 World Cup, I think. I'll double check. I'll double check at the end of each episode. I'll look through the history, competition history of each nation, so I've got the correct points on the Excel spreadsheet. So Denmark got through to the second round, but were defeated once again by eventual winners Argentina. So let's have a look at Denmark then. I won't look at any of the other teams in this stopping point of the video. Denmark are 12th in the world, so they're doing pretty well. I'll see where the others are in comparison. You can look down that list. Sweden are 22nd, Norway 30th. I'll scroll down and you can see yourself. 46th for Finland, Iceland 57th. I'm pointing them out for you. I don't know where Faroe Islands are. Oh, they're 96th. They're in the top 100 at least. So let's look at the Denmark team then. You can see they've certainly got some potential. Lasse Nielsen, a 24-year-old, 180 current ability, 189 potential. What a player he looks. 20 goals in 24 games at international level. They've got a few players with 189 potential actually looking here. Not all of them have managed to get up to those heady heights, but they've got a good squad here. Lots of players over 170 potential, and current ability wise quite a few players over 150. That's all. You're always going to be a good player when you've at least got 150 current ability. Still a few real life players in there playing for Denmark. Top scorer is Michael Thompson, 23-year-old, 31 goals in 32 games. That is great. Plays for Dortmund. So it's now 2026, and this is the last update in this first part of the Nordic experiment. As you can see here, Euro 2024 was won by Italy, beating England in the final. No unusual finalists in there thus far. And looking at the group stages, Faroe Islands actually managed to qualify, which is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant achievement from them. Unfortunately, they didn't get through. Iceland did qualify from Group B though, which is great. Denmark won their group. Norway qualified as well, and Sweden qualified. So all six, and Finland, sorry, can't forget Finland. All 6 nations managed to get through to Euro 2024, and 5 of them qualified from their groups. That is amazing. Second round then, let's have a look. Finland lost on penalties against Spain. Norway were defeated 3-2 by Holland. Denmark lost on penalties to Italy. And Sweden lost 2-0 against Germany, and Croatia beat Iceland 3-2. That is so unfortunate. All 5 of them going out in the second round, and all 5 of them only just going out. It was very close. Really, really unlucky from them. Wow. The 2026 World Cup, Iceland finished 3rd. Amazing achievement from them. It was in Canada again for some reason, which is just greedy to be honest. Brazil did win it for the second time in 3 World Cups. South America have dominated the World Cups in the last 3 years, but Iceland finishing 3rd is fantastic. I love that. Let's have a look at all the groups and see how they did. Iceland won all 3 games in Group B to qualify. Finland qualifying with 7 points, top of the table in Group C. We're seeing some results here from these nations. Denmark top of their group with 7 points. I don't think Sweden or Norway qualified, or Faroe Islands. I will double check at the end, but you can see here Iceland beat Iran 2-0 in the second round to go through. Denmark beat Colombia 3-2, and Finland unfortunately lost on penalties to Germany there. Quarter-final stage, Iceland beat Germany 2-1, and Brazil, the eventual winners, beat Denmark 2-0. Then the semi-finals, Iceland lost against Spain on penalties, really unlucky. Before the 3rd place playoff, Iceland beat Holland 2-0. Fantastic stuff from Iceland. Let's look at Iceland then, the most successful team in this 3rd stopping point in this video. 5th in the world rankings, doing really, really well. Amazing stuff from them. Let's look at some of their clubs out of interest, like this club, Fylkir. 3-star reputation team. They're professional. I think some of the top division teams in Iceland are still semi-professional, so that's really, really good from them. This is the team. You can see here, top rated player is this guy who plays for Man City. Renison, 28-year-old attacking midfielder, earning 350k a week, 40 goals in 80 games for Iceland. What a player he is. Unbelievable player. And then the next best one plays for Barcelona. Inarsson, 7 goals in 70 games. He's a defensive midfielder primarily. Really, really good player there. Shortlisted for World Golden Ball, as you can see there. We'll have a look at the league tables of each nation in a second, and also World Player of the Year and that sort of thing as well. These are the World Players of the Years since the start of the same. Coutinho won it in 2018. Messi obviously winning it first few years. He's won it 5 times in fact. He won it in 2022 at the age of 35, but Hazard has won it the last couple of times. We haven't seen any Icelandic players in there or Nordic players. World Golden Ball, don't think there's anyone in there. Just quickly whizzed down. Lionel Messi dominated it for the first few years, predictably so. Well, Team of the Year, there might be a few guys in there. It's a shame you can't show the nationality rather than the club. That would make it a bit easier. If you see anyone, well done. Oh, Ødegaard's in there. Ødegaard, of course, one of the real life players that has the potential to be a world class player. He currently plays for Man United, 28 goals in 98 games for Norway so far. He's only 27, so he can still lead them to glory. He moved to Man United on a free, so he obviously played out his contract after a very successful time at Real Madrid. If you look at those average ratings, remarkable average ratings from him. But he has moved to Man United. Norway currently 15th in the world. Let's just have a look at the world rankings. Denmark in 3rd. They've probably been the most successful team so far. I know Iceland managed to finish 3rd in the World Cup, but Denmark have got to every single World Cup so far. Iceland 5th, Finland up in 9th, doing really well. Norway 15th, Sweden down in 27th. Some of you may have thought they would be the most successful team, but struggling a little bit there. Don't know where Faroe Islands are. Let's have a look down the list. They're up in 55th. They're doing pretty well. So well done to Faroe Islands. That's pleasing to see. If we just look at their competitions, they managed to obviously get to the group stage of the Euros, which is great. World Cup qualification, though, haven't been quite so successful, but they've gone from finishing 6th and 5th, or 6th, to 4th in the last 3 World Cup qualification campaigns. So that's not bad at all. So this is the European International League, which started in 2018. Denmark have managed to win the last one, which is fantastic. It means I can add that to the spreadsheet. So well done to Denmark for beating England in this competition. It's sort of a group stage thing. Not 100% sure how it works, but Denmark are the winners. That's all I know. I guess you play... It's a bit like a Champions League for countries, I guess. You can see Sweden managed to get to a semi-final. I'm only documenting winners and runners-up for the European International League. I'm not 100% sure how it works, so that's why I'm going to do that. These are the winners of the Confederations Cup so far. We won't see any of our countries in there yet. They'll have to win the European Championships or the World Cup before they can get into the Confederations Cup. I don't think the European International League winners get into the Confederations Cup, but I might be wrong. So we're just going to have a quick look at the different leagues in each nation, so you can see the winners for those of you interested. So the last winners was SJK in Finland. Norwegian Premier Division. You can see the winners here. A couple teams dominating. This is the Swedish Premier Division. Sundsvall, the last 4 winners. Malmö, runners-up 4 times in the last 4 years as well. This is the Danish Superliga, which Copenhagen did dominate for a while, but Midtjylland have managed to win the last championship title. Icelandic Premier Division, mixture of different winners. KR dominated the first few years. Fylkir have won the last couple. And the Faroese Premier Division, or League, we unfortunately can't actually see that. But the top club at the moment is HB still, 1-star reputation, okay finances. These are the winners of the Champions League. None of our teams from the Nordic nations have managed to win it or even get through to a final so far. We may not see any of them win it. I don't know how successful they will be, because amazing players that develop through those teams now probably will still move to the likes of Barcelona, Man United, Chelsea. And the Euro Cup then, Liverpool won the last one, but we haven't seen any Nordic winners yet or any Nordic finalists yet. So let's end it by having a look at the Nordic experiment spreadsheet. So as you can see there, lots of second round finishes for the likes of Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark in the European Championships. Iceland have also finished in the second round once in the Euros. Sweden and Faroe Islands have also been knocked out in the group stages. World Cup wise though, we've only seen 3 nations qualify so far in 3 World Cups. Denmark the only one to qualify for every single one, getting to the second round twice and quarter-final once, which is why you could argue perhaps they've been the most successful team so far. But Iceland, first ever World Cup, they managed to finish 3rd, which is an amazing achievement. Finland, in their first ever World Cup, also managed to get through to the knockout stages, and got knocked out in the second round. So, and of course Denmark have won the European International League as well. So you'd probably say Denmark have been the most successful team. They've been consistent. They've reached 2 of 3 European Championships. Only Sweden have reached all 3. And Denmark they've also managed to get to all 3 World Cups. So let me know in the comment section below who you think will be the most successful nation in this experiment. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this, and if you're looking forward to more parts. 500 likes today and I'll upload part 2 tomorrow. I'm probably bound to go wrong with this spreadsheet. I'm going to get muddled up at some point as we progress, especially if I'm going to go all the way to 2,100 or something like that. But I hope you're looking forward to it. I don't know how many parts they're going to be. I may show more than 3 sort of World Cups in each part as we go forwards. But this was just a taster. And just to make you definitely come back next time, we're going to have a really interesting 2030 World Cup with one of these nations doing particularly well. So that's just not a spoiler, but a teaser. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in part 2.